I'm so saddened to see what happened in Europe with the immigration. I think above all else the immigration, but the bad taxing policies. When you look at, Europe is not the same place.
No.
I can't say every place, but pretty much almost every place. There are a couple of places, and I won't even get into that because those are the people, the leaders that aren't liked by the other European leaders. But what's happened is so sad to Europe. And I think probably you have the same problem that we do with the fake news. If you don't get the news out and properly, it's never going to change. But Europe, I love Europe. Hey, I'm originally from
Scotland,
right? And between Scotland and Germany, right? A German father and a Scottish mother. And a great mother, by the way, I have to tell you, great father, great mother. So I have a little prejudice toward Europe and those two places, but it's so sad to see what they're doing.
Renewables in principle sound like a great idea. Use the sea and the
beautiful
wind.
Words, a disaster. And when they talk about the climate, the whole thing is a hoax. They used to say it was started by other countries to cause problems, and they used to call it global warming, but that didn't work because it started getting colder. They even called it many years ago global cooling, but those things don't work. So now they call it climate change, because with climate change you can't lose. The whole thing is a hoax. And your country, among others, but your country is one of the worst. You talk about UK, it's one of the worst in the world. They believe this nonsense, this fiction. As an example, China, very smart. They sell the windmills, almost all of them. It used to be Germany and China, now it's mostly China. And yet, if you go around China, you see almost no wind farms. So they make the windmills and they sell it to the suckers, the stupid people. But they don't have them themselves. They use oil and gas, they use coal, but they don't use the wind. I think I've proven fake news because they used to have high approval ratings, the media, and now they have the lowest. I think they're lower than Congress, which is pretty good. So, now fake news was a great term. Except it's not strong enough. I'd like it to be stronger. The word fake is one thing, but this is beyond fake. This is corrupt, what they did. You worry about AI because things like this can happen, with their different geniuses. I mean, you can do things. I've seen things that are incredible. But you can't imagine that BBC did this somewhat crudely, actually. It was done sort of crudely.
They'd clipped together, hadn't they, two parts of the speech that were nearly an hour apart.
It's incredible.
To depict the idea that you had given this aggressive speech which led to this riot.
And one making you into a bad guy, and the other one was, my statement was a very calming statement. It's pretty incredible. I mean, I couldn't believe it, actually. I've been doing this for a long time. I've never seen anything like that. That's the most egregious. I think that was worse than the Kamala thing with CBS and 60 Minutes.
How far will you push it? Because they haven't offered, our understanding is they've offered no money whatsoever. They've apologised in a letter, but they haven't offered you a penny in compensation. There was this figure of $1 billion that you may be pursuing.
I think I have an obligation to do it. Look, I'm not looking to get into lawsuits, but I think I have an obligation to do it. This was so egregious. If you don't do it, you don't stop it from happening again with other people. I think you probably have an obligation. I'd like to find out why they did it. It's so bad. Who thinks like this? And I wonder if they've done it. We'll find this out. The nice part about litigation is we'll find out how many times have they done it to other people. Maybe they did it to me quite a bit. Biden, Sleepy Joe Biden, one of the worst, definitely the worst president in the history of our country, but a man who didn't do a good job in any way. But, he said, I can't stop the people from coming in because I need an act of Congress. And I can't get it. He said, you don't need an act of Congress. All you have to do is say, nobody comes into... I didn't get an act of Congress. So I had a very safe border the first time, the first 4 years. But now I have a really safe border. But I didn't have to go to Congress to do that. You're the president. It's a very strong presidency. And you say, stop the people from coming in. And they listen to me, and nobody comes in. I mean, literally nobody, other than if they come in legally. We have a good process for coming in. You have to learn. You have to, you have to show that you can love the country. Yeah, Biden was just a terrible president. You know, what he did with inflation, what he did with other things was that we had the highest inflation in the history of the country. Now we have almost no inflation. But what he did with allowing millions of people to come in. Now the difference is I'm moving them out. I'm getting them out.